Yeah.
Good amount of people in here. So for you guys, this is going to be recorded, put on YouTube. Welcome to Forex League Live. These are live trading sessions that me and Nick do almost every single day. We're going to go over all the pairs that we're looking at, potential trades for today, go over the watch list. And like Nick said, go over some trades that were taken yesterday or the beginning of the week at this point
Yep.
in the signal room. So we're going to go over that as well. How we always get this started is Nick goes over DXY. Yeah, Nick goes over
Oh,
DXY. So you can share up your screen and we can pretty much get started with that.
hell yeah. All right, guys. So again, we're going to start off on DXY. This is the 4-hour time frame. So for those of you that did go back or that were in our Sunday Market Blitz, you guys know all the pairs that we covered and what our forecasts were. Or if you even went back and watched on YouTube the replay, because it's always posted, you guys should be aware of what our forecast was for DXY. So on Sunday, it was in this 4-hour bullish channel, right? And we said, the favoring trade here was a break to the downside. We want to see stability with the dollar, and this ranging between 101 and 98.5 is a stable area. Anything really higher is kind of overvalued. And again, no one really wants that because it has more of an adverse effect than a positive effect on all other currencies. So basically, we want US dollar to be stable as hell. And, we're seeing that. It's as long as it's between this range, it's pretty much stable. So we also said that this 4-hour trend looked pretty weak and that we did want to see it fall out, right? So this was the preferred path, the preferred forecast for this trade. We want to see a break of this support level right here, the structure level in blue. And we saw that break, followed by the retest, as this projection shows, followed by a huge bearish drop, which it's showing exactly. So this is playing out exactly how we expected it to, exactly how we wanted it to. And, that's proved true with other pairs as well, which we'll get to in a second. But where is this going now? We want to see this continue to trend lower. We want to see these lower highs. Ideally, it would be nice to see it approach the 98.5 area, or at least the 99. We want to see it break lower than 99. Again, that would still be a very stable area. As long as we just get good trends, good 4-hour trends within this range, this is going to be pretty good structure formation across all USD pairs. So again, this is the 4-hour for DXY. And this was absolutely perfect, this fallout here. So I'm gonna go to the 1-hour real quick. Just want to see if how well. See, it almost came back and tested exactly, but we do have this 1-hour double top. So this is a confirmation itself, right? We saw this break lower of support. Here's a key retest. Once, twice, boom, right through the MAs. Double top, large bearish variation, right to the MAs. So this is looking really good, guys. We're getting some good structure formation, and we're excited for this week. So let's keep going. I'm gonna move over to AUD USD. So alongside this, right? So let's just looking at the pairs in itself. This is right again USD. So if USD drops, AUD USD will then go up, right? So then AUD will appreciate compared to US dollar because the US dollar is depreciating in this 4-hour trend here. So it would go up, and that's how we see here, which we covered in the Sunday Market Blitz. Unfortunately, we don't like taking trades on Sunday usually because the market needs a little bit of time to build up momentum. But in this particular case, the entry here was exactly at market open. I didn't take this trade. I expected it to come back down. I wanted a little more consolidation because, again, Sunday is usually kind of slow. You won't really see that much volume. But, this one happened to take off right at market open, which was pretty cool to see. It did confirm our analysis and our projection, alongside the technicals here and DXY. So DXY drop, this continued higher. We did get a clean break of, this is a 1-hour structure here, right? Broke resistance, tested a support, gave us a nice morning star, and boom, that was your entry on the morning star or on this lower time frame retest. So you could even drop lower, right? So once we saw that morning star forming, right, you want to start dropping time frames. That's how we always do it. I'll never take a trade based on the 4-hour. So after that 4-hour morning star was identified, we're dropping down. We're looking for lower time frame confirmations.
My bad.
And good. And I see this, right? We see this retest of this lower time frame, the structure level. So this is a lower high here. Then it breaks. We got our first higher high on this time frame, higher low, and then it continued higher. So once we saw this retest, you could even drop time frames again to the 30-minute, in which case we'd be looking for entries all in here. So break, retest, we're getting in on any bullish variation here. This would be the entry, this little candle here. Once we see that lower time frame break of structure, I'm going to cover this in yellow. 1 second here. Boom. Let me expand this. So again, we're in the 30-minute guys. So now once we've identified all these confirmations on higher time frames, we're looking for this 30-minute confirmation, which will be the final one, which will be the deciding factor for getting to this trade or not. And we actually saw this break happen right here, right? Closure above. I'm going to go ahead and mark this right at, let's go up 4, make it a nice whole number. That's how I like to do it. So here is that entry. We get closure above, practically no wick, and then this doji failed to break lower. This resistance level turn support was now holding, and then we started getting that volume. So this would have been a great entry, pretty much exactly where this forecast is lined up, this long entry lined up. And yeah, so this is well over 120 pips. Again, I didn't take this trade personally just because I don't like taking trades on Sunday, but for the sake of technicals and analyzing, breaking it down, this was a really, really good trade. And so let's just bump up a second, give you guys a better perspective of how far it's going. So yeah, right now it's up 120 pips. It's probably going to go all the way to this weekly. It's got the momentum for sure. So this will be a 160 pip trade. There's a 3.3 risk reward. Very, very good. So risking just about 50 pips. And yeah, so this is looking really good. So I want to see how it reacts at this weekly zone. Will this have enough momentum to break higher? Let's go to the daily and take a look. So this is the area. So overall, higher time frames are very bearish. So this is the area where we're going to anticipate some sort of reaction, right? This is either going to continue a bearish trend on a higher time frame, or it's going to start this transition to the upside, and we'll start, maybe a 4-hour bullish trend, a daily bullish trend if we do see significant closure plus a retest. But for right now, our short-term target is 0.65, right around our weekly zone, and then we'll figure out where it's going to go. We'll count those confirmations, see how price action reacts, and then we'll reanalyze and come up with another trade idea. So this was a really good trade, really good opportunity here. Pretty much textbook. We're just going with the trend. We're just going with this 4-hour trend, right? We're identifying patterns, we're identifying breaks of structure, levels of a big reaction of price, and we're just looking for those confirmations. And this one played out. So that's AUD USD. Let's keep moving along here. I got AJ. This is looking very similar. I mean, we analyzed this Sunday. If you guys went through, we covered both scenarios here. Again, this move to the upside was the favored move. It didn't give us as much confirmation as AU. AU was definitely more of a cleaner trade, but this is still very similar. 4-hour bullish trend. We got this flag. Here's the break. Here's that 1-hour break of resistance. There's that structure level, and then test as support. And then we got some bullish confirmations in here. This bullish candle here, this would have been our candle that would have brought us down to the 1-hour, where we would have started looking for entries, right? And then we probably would have entered on somewhere in here on a bullish variation on a 30-minute. I'm just going to highlight this because this is clearly a key area. You can see how this area is broken and then tested as support. All right, let's drop to the 30-minute. I mean, we cover this every week. A lot of you guys should be, seeing some familiarity in here. And this would have been our entry candle, right? This strong exhaustion of support, big bullish candle, pretty much no wick, saying to us that there's a lot of buyers coming into the market, that there's a lot of momentum here, and that we're going to see this pair push higher. And it did exactly that, just as we expected and as we forecasted on Sunday. So this one played out again pretty well. I think AU actually moved more than this, which is uncommon because AJ moves the most out of any other pair usually. This is about, let's see, I'm just going to draw from the structure line. At its highest, it was about 88 pips, 89 pips, and then AU is about 120 right now. So yeah, AU is really moving. But again, that's because DXY, the US dollar, is dropping so much. So that's why you're seeing more volume go into AU rather than AJ. So yeah, I mean, these both played out. Again, these entry opportunities were pretty close to market open, so that's why these weren't executed on. But for the sake of technicals, again, pretty clean cut textbook trade, and played out pretty well as we expected. So here's EU. I know somebody said EU's bullish, right? EU's rallying. I saw in chat, and it is on lower time frames. But again, we always have to consider the higher time frame, which is very, very bearish. We have this huge weekly channel identified. I have these daily structure levels marked where acted as support, broken, tested as resistance. And the thing with EU is it loves to test multiple times. You can see double top here, double bottom here. multiple tests again here. And then right now, current price action, it's just kind of consolidating. We don't really have any clear structure. So again, that's why we're on the daily. We're waiting for these daily confirmations. Right now, I'm seeing what I want to see. We have a little bit of a daily double bottom. I want to see it pull back to this structure level right around, where is this price label? I want to see it pull back to this area right around 1.1. Why is this not doing this? It's not working. There we go. Right around 1.1. I want to see a pullback. I want to see this confirmed double top, in which case we'll look for shorts because, again, the higher time frames are bearish. We're trend traders. We're always looking for those high probability trades. And if this does execute, we're going to be patient on it. And this is going to be a really big trade if this does, follow this analysis. And
What short? Yeah.
Bearish sentiment. It's going to follow it perfectly. And this actually makes a lot of sense because if the US dollar still has a lot of room to drop, let's say it goes to that 98.5 area, like we said, the EU is going to keep pushing up, right? And then once the dollar, bounces from that 98.5 level, we want it to be stable. We want to see it range. So once that, that trend continues to the upside on DXY, we'll start to see this EU drop. And then, we'll look for those confirmations and potentially make a really great trade out of this. So this is a almost 3.3 risk reward. We're risking about 100 pips. We're protecting ourselves by putting our stop loss outside this weekly level. And we're looking to target down towards this monthly, which is about 350 pips away. So this is going to be a massive freaking trade if we see everything play out. And right now it's looking pretty good. So we're just going to keep waiting a few more days on this. This may be an end of week trade or even potentially early next week. We'll see how much movement we get out of the US dollar. But nonetheless, this is going to be a really good potential trade here. So, be ready for that. What's up, Mahogany? Sumi, what's going on? Welcome, guys. We're going to get to gold in a second. Somebody just messaged me privately, so I'll get there in a minute. We're working our way down through this list. No worries, guys. All right, so EJ. This one is looking pretty nuts right now. We're at a key level. I really want to see this push lower. Right now it's looking pretty good. It broke below key support right about 116.250, which is also a monthly support level. I want to see it push a little lower. Then I want to get a nice pullback with a key fib level in there, either a 38.2 or 61.8, whatever. It doesn't really matter to me as long as we get a golden level, plus plenty of confirmations. And this is going to be just like EU. We're looking short on this because, again, the overall trend is super, super bearish. So, right, I'm going to zoom out to the weekly here, guys. This is a huge channel, huge channel, and it's just bearish as hell. So there's a lot of room for this to drop all the way down, potentially to this weekly around 111.650. We'll see, but we're still kind of far away from the right confirmations. I'm not going to take an entry on this. I want to wait for these daily confirmations. So again, I want to see a significant drop followed by a pullback, key fib level. Then we can start dropping down timeframes. Once price action starts to pull back to this monthly, we can drop to the 4-hour and start looking for these bearish setups. This is probably going to be more like this over here, something like this. I want to see a pullback, a drop, pullback, and then bearish confirmations, in which case, we'll be shorting the hell out of it. Let me give you guys a projection real quick of how many pips we're looking at. Let's say we get this pullback, we get an entry around this area. We're risking 110 pips. It doesn't really matter about the pips. Again, we say this every time. It's always a fixed percentage that we're risking. So it'll be, 1.5% probably. And we're looking to get almost a 3.6 risk reward. And we're looking to get almost 400 pips out of this. It probably is more so 400. Let's go ahead and round it.
Yeah, for all you guys that are reading into the signal groups that are telling you we make 1 million pips, every single pair has a different amount of pips that it gives. The exotic, GJ, you're going to catch more pips on GJ, GA, more pips on that. But your stop losses are going to be wider. So it comes down to what you're risking on that pair. Everything should be measured in percentage risk of your account. You know what I'm saying? You should be worried about the percentage gain. 100 pip gain or TP and 80 pip TP, 60 pip TP. It's all the same shit if you're risking 2% on that trade. That's what you guys got to realize. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, pips are completely irrelevant. It's more or less used now. I think it's a total misconception. People use it now to get sales or to make it seem like their performance is really good, But again, that's not the case. As Angelo just said, he described it perfectly. It's all about the percentage. pips mean absolutely nothing. So again, this will be a 2% or 1.5, 2% trade that we're risking, and then 3.5. So if it's a 2% trade, we're getting at least, if this was a 3.0, we'd be getting 6% back. So that's just, a quick breakdown for it. But this is looking like a really good trade as well. So we're going to wait for these confirmations and potentially make a long-term trade towards 400 pips. So all the way down to this weekly level. It's just looking pretty good. That's EJ. Let's keep moving. I'm going to cover gold, and then there was also something that caught my eye on Euro GBP. So let's go ahead and take a look at gold. Again, it's super, super bullish. It did form a daily double top, it looks like here, and then an evening star happened. So, it's not looking super great for the bulls, but I mean, we're going to wait and see if these confirmations play out. So we actually saw this ascending triangle fail. I was waiting to see this minor support level hold and push price action higher, followed by a retest of this pattern, and then we would have looked for long opportunities. Unfortunately, that didn't play out. It actually wanted to price action pulled back all the way. I'm just going to erase this because this is no longer valid. I pulled back to this structure level, a deeper structure level. This is that 4-hour level instead of this 1 hour up here. So it came back, pulled back, and then gave us this 4-hour engulfing. So you could potentially see some long opportunities coming out of this area. And then we would drop down. So we see that engulfing. I want to drop down to the 1 hour here and kind of see, where this is going. So it's looking good so far. We're seeing what we want to see, but I really want to see a break of this whole area in here. I want to see a break of this. Pretty clean break, actually even potentially higher. Let me draw this area in, this blue. And I'm just drawing this area to be thicker instead of from here, right? I'm going to put it up here just because it's more conservative. I want this zone to break. I want it to be super clear that this is going long, right? I don't want there to be any, confusion, especially not by a few pips. So I'm just going to draw it to this higher zone and just wait for that break. So I want to see something like this. Gold usually does this too before it's about to push higher. It forms these dojis in an upward fashion and shows lots of rejection. So this is looking pretty good in my opinion. I've played this pattern many times. So I want to see something like this, significant closure above on this lower time frame, followed by a higher low confirmation, and then we're going to target higher. So we're still targeting that 1800 handle. We're just on a lower time frame right now, trying to get the best execution as possible. And this is what it's basically going to look like. We want to see this break, retest, followed by bullish confirmations, and we're going to target much higher towards 1800. So this is actually looking pretty good. We've been killing it on gold lately. It just keeps rallying and forming pretty good structure on these lower time frames. So we're waiting for this one. This one's looking pretty good. Again, we're always going to post these analyses as we see these trades playing out. We're always going to make you guys aware before we execute on anything. So if you are a member, you guys know this already, but for anyone else who's not, I'm just letting you know how we do things. So we always make our members aware. We're always posting analyses on any potential trade we're looking at. So again, gold looking very good. No reason to believe that this is going to drop. Nothing here says bearish to me. This is just natural market movement. So looking pretty good. Definitely a potential opportunity here. I'm going to give you guys a long setup, what this could look like if we see this play out. So I want to see this 1800 handle. Let's go ahead and mark this out real quick. Where is it? 1800. And let's call this 117.14 or 17.14. So over a 3.0 risk reward. Again, this is looking really good. We're protected by the structure level. Even if you want it to be more conservative, you could bring it to a 2.0, put it outside this monthly, just risk 2%, and this trade would make sense still. So this is a conservative approach. This is if you want to risk, have a potential for a little more profit, you could protect it here on this outside this higher low, outside this structure level. There's enough protecting it there, but either way, this trade makes sense if we see these confirmations at this area after this break, retest, bullish variations, then we're long. So that's gold. And then I want to show you guys, I was looking at this morning. Let's see how it's looking now. Yeah, it's kind of bouncing. So this is Euro GBP. I did a quick analysis on it this morning. It looked like it was, showing some bearish signs, like it might drop down to this monthly. It's at a pretty key level right now. It broke the support. We had a fake out. and it actually formed a bit of a double top here. You guys can see this, these two tops, double top, and then it came back down. So before, I mean, it's got plenty of bearish variations here. There's 3 huge bullish candles, bearish candles, and a nice bearish engulfing after a retest of these MAs. Definitely a good structure level in here as it pulled back, but I'm still not really convinced. You know, I want to drop to the 4-hour here. Well, first off, the 200 EMA is right there on the daily, so that's a little sketchy. I want to see something significant happen here, so I'm just going to wait on this. I did mark this minor structure level here. I want to see this support level break, right, pretty much where this entry is. I want to see that happen before I do anything else. So the way that this could play out, I want to see this happen. I want to see a nice push lower, followed by a retest, and then bearish confirmations, and then we're short. Then we're really short on this, because this is going to push lower. EU is looking pretty bearish right now. So, I mean, Euro is looking pretty bearish right now. So this is going to be the potential setup. We're looking to get in on this lower high. And this is a 2.4 risk to reward. We're going to risk 100 pips to get 240. So, again, really great potential trade here. It's making a lot of sense. And all these higher time frames are super, super bearish. So, you know, this is going to be pretty good if this does play out. So, all right. So that's what I covered for you guys. I'm going to pass it off to Angelo, but first let's do a quick recap. Covered DXY, AU, AJ, EU, EJ, gold, and then Euro GBP. So that's what I prepared for you guys right now. I'm going to pass it off to Angelo, and he's going to get into the pairs he's looking at.
Yeah, so I'm looking at some major pairs here. I've got I've got some wicked analysis right now
Good.
going on. So let's take a look. Let's first start off on USEF. For everyone that's trying to be bold, I just put out a signal on USEF. If everyone's trying to get in on it or everyone's trying to look at it, let's take a look as to why I just got in on this trade. So let's bring this up to the top. And pretty much I've been stalking USEF for the last week or so. Basically, no, USEF. So basically the daily fib, we came back into the supply zone, tested 100%. Then we retested it again at 88.6%. Now at this point, we came back up to retest that level. So overall, we're bearish, even though we started appreciating in price here. I'll get down to the lower time frame. Overall, our structure is bearish. We formed this lower high. This is the level that I've been talking about that needs to break for a long ass time. You know what I'm saying? So as we go down to the 4-hour right now, down to the 4-hour time frame, this is how the 4-hour had been looking. We took short opportunities here. Why? We broke support. So we had a transition on the 4-hour from uptrend, broke this higher low, downtrend, first lower high, boom. Then we just came back up to that level. We came back up to that level, tested the supply zone twice, just formed, so double top here, 4-hour engulfing just closed right now. You know what I'm saying? Then 30-minute time frame. 30-minute, let's go over, pretty much had this trend line going for a long ass time that just broke. And then this is on the 30-minute, that 4-hour engulfing actually broke some structure here, pulled back through these moving averages, broke that. You know, how we normally will do this is we'll wait, for a pullback, which is for people that are entering the trade now, what you have to realize is price is at a low. This is more of a breakout entry. You know what I'm saying? This is a breakout entry, price is at a low. The reason I took this though is because of the retest of this zone, all the volume that just came down on this area. But realistically, until price forms some sort of lower high here, it can retrace. It can retrace to 38.2. It can retrace to 618. You know what I'm saying? That's what we got to realize. Like, I'll go over UCAD, the signal we were in yesterday, and some people, I'm sure, were sweating over it because they were like, oh, it's retracing, blah, blah, blah. But what you got to realize is it's good for it. It's healthy for it to be retracing. That's what it's supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? And use those moving averages to your advantage. Look how we fell below this 200-day. We've got these moving averages here. if we get a little bit of a cross, you know, we retrace back upwards, we retest this level, then we form that first lower high. You know, that's what we realistically want. That's what we want to see. And we want to see it to start that downtrend, you know, to start to head to the downside. So this is Youssef, you know, little trade idea right now has major confirmation going on. So if you guys are interested in entering a little position, you know what I'm saying? This is what I'm going with right now. I recommended 1% on this. You know, we'll recommend 1%, 1.5%, 2% on those trades that really come back and we get those like really solid levels. Because like look at this, like stops realistically should be all the way above here. You know what I'm saying? But I'm using this 618 because I have this big resistance level here that realistically is major. So I'm using that 618, 38.2, another resistance level. So, you know, we have a lot of technical support in this idea at the moment. So that's USEF. Let's go over to UCAD. Let's go over this trade yesterday. Obviously, this thing played out with like wicked accuracy, but I want to talk about what I was saying with this retracement because we did have this pullback here. So going into the week on USD CAD, you know, we were bearish. We had to come back up into this zone, falling down. I was more focusing on the 1 hour time frame, considering this 1 hour downtrend that we were in. You know, we formed this low, formed this lower high, formed this low, then we started to form this flag, and then we had this 4 hour resistance level that I was monitoring. I entered based on I believe all the way down to like the 15-minute. Like I entered based on that highlighted candle right there. So pretty much what we had was we had a break below on this 1 hour flag, break below, we had this retest, and then this bearish variation all the way through with the cross confirmed to me that this was a level that if broken would mean that this would start to appreciate in value. So this was a key level of structure that just formed for me. That's all I'm looking for. That's all I'm looking for. I'm looking for that key level. Obviously went into some profit here, and then look how the red over blue here. So as we cross back, these aren't breaks of structure here. You know what I'm saying? This is just the market breathing, trying to find that first lower high after this fallout. And unfortunately, it had to come all the way back up to retest, you know, our previous lower high up here. You know what I'm saying? But that's fine because we had our stops at the right spot, you know, above our structure level. Obviously, respected it. You know, one rejection, two rejection, ultimately third rejection, and we stayed below the 200-day. So that's why I'm not worried in that trade because I know realistically my stops, I'm putting them in the beginning at a place where if they hit, then that's it. You know what I'm saying? That's the spot, and that's what I'm more worried about. And then obviously, you know, we went into some profit. This was the trade. It was 40 pips to get 100 pips. So it was obviously like a 2.2 risk reward or whatever. This says like 2.6 risk reward out here. So yeah, definitely a good trade. Yeah, where price is right now, let's take a look. Because it's actually interesting. We're coming now down into this daily zone. So now we're coming down into this daily zone. I personally took 80% of the position off, and I'm letting the rest ride with some in profit, like at this level right here. I'm using my fib, so I'm using I fib this like this, and I'm using 38.2. So I got my stops like right around 50%, and I'm just letting that like kind of squeeze it. And if it continues to fall, it continues to fall. This is a significant level right now. This is a very significant level of support. So, you know, we could retrace again. What was the previous lower high on this 1 hour? All the way up here. And then before that, it was all the way up here. You know what I'm saying? Know what time frame you're on and what you're looking at. Know what structure you're looking at. Like that was 15-minute structure, not 1 hour structure. 1 hour structure is up here. You know what I'm saying? So on this 1 hour, you know, we'd have to break this to really go bullish at the moment. So I'm not looking at anything too crazy when it comes to, are we going to reverse buys? Like, no, we're at the bottom of a push for a seller's push. Now we're just waiting. If we get a flag form, much like this, then, we'll consider some other opportunities in there. So UCAD, nothing at the moment. I'm gonna turn this back, or actually no, I'm gonna leave it blue or whatever, purple, because those are the ones that are my live trades. The trades that I've been. Again, USAF. We're gonna wait and see how this plays out. I'm hoping to get some rejection here, and we can break below this level. So we'll see. Let's go on to GU. GU. Let's spin back all the way to the daily. So GU is actually hitting this like daily resistance now. Overall on GU, I am bearish. Look at this daily fib. We hit this level up here, this weekly resistance. Now we're retesting 618, and could we even potentially call this like a head and shoulders opportunity right here? We'll see what happens if we can get the right shoulder.
There you go.
Bring this thing down. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm looking at right now with GU. I'm looking to see like what happens in this area. If we go down to the 4 hour, the 4 hour is again, kind of just pulling back. We're hitting this level of resistance for sure. So I'm gonna wait. At the moment, I'm not trying to buy and continue this trend until we break above this 4 hour level. So pretty much, this would be my idea, is if we pop above. And again, this is all the way on the 4 hour, guys. Like, I'm gonna wait for 4 hour candle closures. So obviously on GU, I'm not gonna look at this again until like later today at 1 p.m. and then I'll look at it again at like 5 p.m. If nothing confirms at that time or whatever. So I'll wait for, pop above here. What I would need to see to short this is we'll bump down to the lower time frame real quick, and just take a look at structure on the lower time frame. So 30-minute, 30-minute right now, this would have to break. This level here would have to break. This is our structure on the 30-minute. This is an obvious uptrend. So that would have to break. If we start to consolidate around this area, and then we get that 4 hour engulfing, which is like a nice break of structure on the 30-minute, then, we can consider opportunities. So again, I'm going to just turn this to red. Red means that it's 4 hour for me, and then I'm just waiting. And, we'll see if that higher time frame pattern can sort of play out there. So that's GU. Let's go over to NU. So NU, again, this analysis was wicked. Like, earlier this week, we were monitoring this trend line to see if we can get some sort of sell-off. Obviously, broke through, retested. Now we're going long on this, which is interesting. And obviously, like Nick talked about, USD we're bearish on USD. You know what I'm saying? So let's bump up to the 4 hour. Let's actually bump up all the way to this daily time frame. So basically, I'm looking for it to retest this red zone now. That's going to be our really key indicator as to what the next move is going to be. This was a level of resistance that was made on the daily. Obviously, I have my daily fib drawn bearish, so I'm waiting for it to come into that zone. So if we go to the 4 hour right now, 4 hour time frame, waiting for it to come into that zone. I don't have a play on this, kind of at the moment. I really don't have a read on this. I'm not exactly going to long now. We could consolidate here and enter the zone, but that's not my favorite play or position to really be in. Obviously, this 1 hour time frame is bullish. Higher high, higher low, higher high. If we were to draw a fib and forecast an idea right now, this would be my idea. Is we hit 88.6 again. A lot of times it won't just shoot from those 88.6 levels all the way to take profit. It's gonna range, or it's gonna form some higher lows, or it's gonna trend. So ideally, if we can come back now and we can actually retest like all the way to this 618 level, or all the way to this 38.2, like those two levels, and then we get some sort of like entry opportunity, then maybe I'll long into that. But we'll see. Ideally, I'm just kind of waiting for price to come up here and then look at a read based on that situation. So NU analysis playing out rather well. Whether we were to take an opportunity based on this is really just up for debate. It would have to have been at this level down, all the way down here. It would have had to have been on the lower time frame and these are just very minor breaks. So obviously, you know, that was definitely confidence trade, you know, at that point. Your daily fib and the one you just drew match. Would you count that as double confirmation? Yeah, I mean, for sure, for sure. I mean, the thing about this is like the daily fib is bearish, right? So I'm not even really yeah, I know. So I'm not even really like using that right now in the 1 hour. Like I know on the daily time frame that this is a 618 level, but at the same time, that level pretty much broke. That level's broken on the daily. So I'm more on this 1 hour now, and I'm not even really like using that confirmation on this 1 hour. On this 1 hour, I'm more looking at this fib, I'm looking at this 618, how that lines up with this level, because we're trading this 1 hour at this point now. You know, we're on the 1 hour time frame and we're looking at 1 hour opportunities. You know what I'm saying? Um, so on the daily, like say we pop below this level and then we're retesting that on the daily time frame and we get something like this, you know, then that's where my daily confirmations are like, okay, you know, have some daily confirmations. Right now, my daily, the only thing I'm worried about is this red zone. This is what I'm worried about on the daily time frame. We already retested this level. You know, we just broke above 618, broke above this minor resistance right here. So yeah, looking to come into that red zone. Hold on 1 second.
You guys also notice how similar this looks to AU, right? And this 1 hour bullish trend, this volume is coming from the drop of USD. So again, you know, we said that at the beginning of this, you know, USD pairs, USD is, you know, we're bearish on that. So any pair that's, you know, NZ USD, that would then be bullish. AU USD, that would then be bullish. You know, relatively, obviously. But again, yeah, it looks very similar to AU, and you know, he's looking for a potential play up to that resistance level. You know, same with AU, looking for a play up to that higher resistance level, and you're just waiting for those confirmations to play out.
Yep. All right. So let's go over to UJ. So UJ also was a literally great trade. I'm actually freaking pissed that I didn't look at it. Um, so UJ, we were looking at UJ as it consolidated in this range for a minute. Consolidated in this range for 7, 8 days, 9 days. You know what I'm saying? So we had drawn this, you know, we were just waiting for the break. We were waiting for the break below, and we were targeting this level. We were targeting this monthly, or we're targeting this weekly level down here. So obviously we're in that level now. What went down? Daily fib, bearish. We were retesting on the daily 618. That's what we were consolidating below multiple times. You know what I'm saying? Then the 4 hour, I was just looking at the 4 hour like this. 4 hour form this low. And notice how I don't like bring in all this to confuse myself. Like I'm just kind of focusing in on this trend right now. You know, I'm bringing in this low, lower high, retested this low, you know, started to consolidate in this area. Then I really went down all the way to the 1 hour for me. And look at this red zone in this 1 hour. Retest 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, 5. Ultimately, this one would have been, you know, kind of like an aggressive trade, but basically we had this drop pullback right here. You know, we had bearish variation through the moving averages. And then even if we were to bump down a little bit to a lower time frame, like I'm looking for that. As soon as we pull back through the moving averages, that tells me that this is the time that the sellers need to make a statement. They need to make a statement. If they step in like they did here, that shows that wherever level they stepped in at is a significant price point for them. And that's a level that we can put our stops above, because for them, that was a significant level. So yeah, that would have been a nice, you know, nice entry there. And then obviously now we're like getting down to like support levels. So let's go up to this daily time frame. On the daily time frame, obviously very bearish. Now we're hitting support. You know, we're kind of overextended. So I'm gonna wait. You know, I'm gonna wait on this and see how it reacts to this level. We could get some sort of bounce back, much similar to this. But just look at this area again. Through the moving averages, you know, failed to cross. Like through the moving averages, actually crossed a little bit here. We were just finding rejection here over and over and over again. That's why I wasn't looking to buy, you know, out of this zone. You know, I was looking to sell at these tops, sell at these tops, you know, sell on the break, retest, you know, sell. So that was UJ. Let's take a look at GJ. Haven't looked at it too much. This was our forecast of an idea. We've been waiting on this for a minute on GJ. Let's go up to the daily time frame. Very bearish, you know, hit our weekly level resistance. Then we consecutive days bearish. Now we're in this minor retracement here. 4 hour. Let's bump up to the daily real quick and just take a look at the moving averages. Moving averages crossed, you know, red over blue right now. Let's go to the 4 hour. 4 hour, we're focused on this structure right here. Break below this level was major for us. We were looking at this red zone as our most ideal area to enter on. I'm going to bring this fib across as we're starting to kind of consolidate everything here. I'm going to clean this up. So again, you know, this red zone is the main zone that we're looking for price to come in. Let's go to the 1 hour. This is on the 1 hour, you know, this is kind of like a huge flag. Not really. I mean, we just formed a double top now. At this point, double top. We'll see how this closes on the 1 hour. If this closes, you know, if this can manage to close below, this could be something here for us. Definitely to look at on GJ actually, because we got this 4 hour engulfing. Currently, it's approaching 38 to an MA. Can be crossing potential sell. Yeah, I'm looking for a potential sell actually. Like, let's go to the 30-minute. This is more what I'm looking at on the 30-minute is look on the 30-minute how this level held so many times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like that was the significant structure level here. Now at where we are now, this is this structure formed here. This. And we're breaking below that, which is exactly what we want. That's exactly what we want to see. Ideally, we want to wait for that first lower high. You know what I'm saying? So ideally, we don't want to just enter here, similar to USEF. I mean, USEF was an aggressive entry. Don't get me wrong, but that's because like if we were in this red zone and this happened, I would be much more, you know, the volume for me. I would know there's more volume coming in because this is a key level. We're not really at a key level right now. There's less confirmation here, so I would need to see that structure really form for me to get in here. So yeah, we're gonna wait. You know, we potentially wait up to 3 hours on this, 4 hours. You know, wait for some candles to close, wait for the retest here, go short. So yeah, GJ is definitely a potential opportunity here, for damn sure. So again, I covered. Let's see what I covered. USEF. You know, USEF coming back a little bit. That's okay though. Like I said, UCAD. You know, obviously, we're in some profit on this. Already took a trade. GU, NU, UJ. We're sitting on the 4 hour. We're waiting for opportunities to play out. I'll post those in the free chat. And then GJ, we are going to look to sell GJ, like we just talked about. We're gonna wait though for some more confirmation. So yeah, this was the live trading session. Real quick, let's just go into the fundamental analysis. We had some oil analysis posted yesterday. I know it's like the talk of the town for everyone wants to know what the hell is going on with oil. So I'm just going to read through this, you know, really quickly.
Not looking good, boys and girls. It's not looking good at all.
Yeah, not looking good. So I'm going to do a little reading. Oil prices open negative on Monday, and we expect to see more negativity before they start pushing to the upside because of a prediction that the U.S. will cut production. So cutting production is big because then they don't have to store everything when there's no demand. We had some predictions about production cut last week, but that was not enough to lift up the price. The excess amount of oil in the market hides the risk of more attacks on oil storage. That is an interesting article that we came across in CNBC. We're going to share it with you. So then we just have some, I guess, some quotes here, you know, from CNBC. As international oil companies grapple with historic plunges in crude prices, a rise in piracy is also poised to threaten supply chains. So there's a lot going on right now.
There's a lot of unseen factors that are now, you know, even further affecting the oil market. It's going to be a while before we see oil really have a, you know, a comeback, especially while all this stuff is still going on, all this other news. So don't expect anything too significant coming out of oil other than, you know, negative news, unfortunately. But it's kind of how things are right now. You know, and we're just as traders, we're just doing what we can. We're interpreting the news, analyzing, using our technicals, and doing what we do best on the charts. And we don't really care which way it goes. And oil is definitely not going up. So
Yeah. Now let's look at little fundamentals for USD. Looks like later this week we have the Fed interest rate decision, which will give us a lot of answers and probably an opportunity to trade US dollar against USD JPY. So look out for that Fed interest rate decision. It'll be announced on Wednesday. No expectations of a rate cut. If they decide to cut their interest rate unexpectedly, that will cause a lot of weakness in the dollar.
Yep.
So definitely consider that. Definitely consider that. And local governments are trying to open up the U.S. That's going to be some big news as this kind of comes out and like stabilizes the dollar and stuff like that. So, fundamentally look out for for everybody that's in the, that's actually in the group, just continue to look out. We'll drop some more analysis in here today, some updates on some other pairs. And obviously if there's any like breaking updates, we'll put them in there for you guys. And yeah, we still have, I'm just going to pull this up. We still have this sale going on. We only have one spot left. We got one spot left now in the lifetime membership sale, 40% off. If you guys want in on that, just shoot me a message, and I'll give you some more information on what it means to join the Forex League team. We're going to have this session again tomorrow, same time, 9 a.m. EST. We will be having our live trading session. This thing is recorded and will be on YouTube within the hour. And yeah, so that is it for me, Saved by Effects. Thank you guys for joining.
Yep. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you guys sticking in. Most of you guys stayed. This was a good one. And yeah, again, this will be uploaded, so you guys can review it.
Fuck yeah.
And everyone who missed it.
All right, guys. Enjoy your day. We'll talk to you next time.
Have a good one.
Peace.